Let's do it. Let's join the draft queue. 2 players. All right, we got a pack. What should I pick? It's not going to be Crop Rotation or Avacyn's Judgment, that's for sure. It's looking like Oko, Thief of Crowns. As bad as green is in this iteration of the cube, and it's really bad. Oko's still very good. Now what? Man, I wish I'd recorded it. I did one of those 64-man drafts in my deck the first time around. I had an infinite loop with Displacer Kitten, Black Lotus, and Luris. I had some very good turns. I don't even know what to pick here. These cards are... There's a lot of really bad cards in this pack. I could just pick Displacer Kitten and hope. You usually need a bunch of like cards that are pretty high picks to make Displacer Kitten work is the only problem. I'm not going to pick the Dog Detective. I'll just take Displacer Kitten. I don't think I'm going to miss any of that stuff. Perhaps I want Sneak Attack. Kind of starting off with 3 cards that don't go together very well, but this is another pack that has a bunch of pretty terrible cards in it. What's the more expensive Delve creature called? There's a more expensive blue Delve flying creature that's better than this one, and even the better version is still terrible. I don't know. We have Lightning Bolt. So I can Sneak Attack in the Displacer Kitten and then play my Lightning Bolt and blink out the Displacer Kitten so it stays in play. That's the kind of combo I think I'm going to need. what happens if I... Oh, it's owner's control, so I can't steal things with Zealous conscripts and then blink them and keep them. I think ephemerate works the other way. I guess this is the best card, so I should just take it. Maybe Path to Exile is the best card for real. I'm going to continue just amassing pieces of combos. I'm not going to get the whole thing to any of them. I guess I'll take Through the Breach to go with Sneak Attack. Guess I'm supposed to take Emrakul, given what I've already got. Spell Pierce and Flame Tongue Kabu would also be fine. Does anybody else find it weird that mutagenic growth is in the Vintage Cube? When I said earlier that they made green real bad, that a big part of the problem is that there's a ton of green combat tricks, and like none of them are desirable to play with. Mutagenic growth really isn't even a green card. Like it's mostly, I would say, red decks that actually want to play it. So we got Birds of Paradise, which maybe I could be more of a red-green deck, and I might get Channel, which would go with Emrakul and other things that I might be using with Sneak Attack and Through the Breach. There's also Woodfall Primus, which is like, I don't know, it's not even that good of a thing to Sneak Attack, really. I think I'm not going to wind up short on creatures to Sneak Attack. There's so many Eldrazi in this cube. Do I want Bitter Triumph? Probably not. I'll just take this from my sideboard. Somebody type something in the chat. It's an emergency. Someone type something. Guess I went beside you. I had somebody actually put this into play and then Lava Dart me. It was a Wombo combo. But this returns under owner's control too. So this isn't the thing that works with Zealous Conscripts. Maybe it's Restoration Angel. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can steal your opponent's stuff for good if you have the right card. So far I haven't found the right card. Ooh, I have the right Triome though. If I'm actually these colors. Sneak Attack, Augur of Autumn. Just hope to get a land. Mutagenic Growth, last pick. What a gift. I can't tell if no one is typing in the chat or I'm just not connected. Pet Infestation. I think I realized why LSV likes Pet Infestation so much. I think it's because he doesn't really like being green very much, and this is like a green card that splashes in other colors pretty good. This isn't looking like it's going to be a particularly great deck. Fast Bond. Have Augur. I guess I'll take it. They removed so many of the cards that are good, like, that were good in green decks with Fast Bond. Channel. All right, now maybe we got something going. Can't imagine I'm going to play Displacer Kitten. Come on, Eldrazi's. I'd like 2 or 3 more Eldrazi. So we have Expressive Iteration. I'm not going to play Craterhoof Behemoth. Just because I don't think I'm going to have enough creatures in my deck for it to be good. I could take Raging Ravine. I think I'll just take Expressive Iteration, though. Probably not going to play this. Probably not going to play this either, realistically. Oh, I finally figured out why I couldn't see anyone's chat. Now I can see all of your chats. Thank you for typing. For some reason I was set to only see the top chats, not the live chat. And there were no top chats yet. All right. I think this is a pretty easy tireless tracker. It's good with Fast Bond. It's one of the cards that works well with Fast Bond. Zurin Orb. So if I get Remnant Excavator, I have infinite life. Same with Crucible. I guess it's also a little bit of something with Channel. Yeah, we'll try that. Witness. There's Natural Water. I'm just going to take an Eldrazi. This is the Uli Muli that's good to sneak attacking through the breach, as opposed to the Exile 20 Uli Muli, which is not really that good if you're not casting it. Kiki Jiki. Do have the conscripts. I think I'm not going to get involved in that, though. I think I'll just take Lotus Cobra. Oh, this is the other Uli Muli. Do I want that? I think I just want Lotus Cobra. What is Insidious Roots good with? I had somebody like have Insidious Roots and like Bloodghast. And I mean, they like made a 1/2 and then they died. It was about as bad as you would think it would be. Am I in the market for a memory jar? Maybe. I don't think I'm going to miss that Savannah. I doubt there's any white cards I really want to play. I usually like this Nissa, but not when I have this other stuff as my top end. It's possible I want this Crater Hoof. I haven't gotten as much top end as I thought I might. I don't know, Raging Ravine's fine. I'm sure I'll play that. So I'm probably going to play 18 land, which is a lot, but if you're going to put Fastbond in your deck, you really shouldn't be cheating on lands. I guess I'll play Raffellos as well. I got the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Should at least get paid off in some way for putting a card that annoying into play. I guess Insidious Roots is supposed to be good with Hogak, but I've played a lot of this cube, and the only time I've ever seen someone put Hogak into play, they natural ordered for it. Which can't possibly be like what was intended, but it's what they did. This is not the world's greatest Mana Crypt deck. Considering picking Volcanic Island over it. Like I'm going to play at least 17 lands. I kind of want to play 18. So I don't really want like even more mana sources. Yeah. This is probably a controversial pick. The Volcanic lets my Wooded Foothills get me all 3 colors untapped now. I don't think I've passed the Excavator or the what's it called? The artifact version of Excavator, which the name is escaping me right now. Crucible of Worlds. So I guess I'll take Strip Mine. What I could do is I could play Zealous Conscripts with Zern Orb and just take my opponent's lands and sack them. Is Atraxa what I'm in the market for? It's like somewhat castable with Birds, Delighted Halfling, Lotus Cobra, and then it's obviously good with sneaking through the breach. Yeah, I think I'll take it. I didn't take the Natural Order earlier. So I'm not going to get that. I'm excited about the Zealous Conscripts plan. Zealous Conscripts take their lands, sack it to Zern Orb. This is not a very good deck for Court of Garenbrig. I don't have enough creatures. that are cheap creatures. This is a good deck for broadside bombardiers because I'm these colors. Also, I'll probably win if I manage to get Emrakul in play and then throw it at my opponent with broadside bombardiers. I should draft an Insidious Reach theme deck at some point. I'd be willing to try it. How do you even get into it? Like, what draws you to it? I guess they'll take Trumpet and Carnosaur. You think Reanimator is what puts you in the Insidious Reach deck? I guess if you like start with Reanimator or something, and then it turns out that the actual version of Reanimator, where you're putting Atraxa and Gristlebrand and stuff in play, isn't available to you. You pivot into like the clunky. I'm gonna have like Hogak and Stitcher's Supplier in my deck and Bloodghast, Insidious Roots, but sounds kind of bad. Ooh, there's the Crucible. So I have Strip Mine, I have Zoranorb Fastbond. It's like Seasoned Pyromancer would just be all around good. Also, I like Terra Sunder in these kind of decks too, but I'll take Crucible. Probably going to play Memory Jar. Turn 1 Fastbond, 2 more lands, channel Memory Jar. That's going to be how I win. Guess I want a third one of these over Soul Guide Lantern, which would obviously be good as well. Certainly not going to take Gaia's Cradle. I went from thinking Gaia's Cradle is just completely unplayable to thinking maybe it's a white card. I don't think it's very good in green decks, I'll say that. Do I want the Hedge Maze? Or Once Upon a Time? I think I'm going to take the Hedge Maze, actually. Ooh, the Taiga Wield. And there's Ignoble Hierarch and Inti. I'm not going to pick Inti just because my deck isn't really an Inti kind of deck. The Hierarch isn't actually, I guess it's arguably an upgrade to the Delighted Halfling, but the Taiga is obviously an upgrade to a Forest, so that's what I'm going to take. Endurance for the sideboard or Haywire Might? I guess Endurance is maybe the better sideboard card. I don't know if I said this the last time I streamed, but I think they've lowered the overall power level of this cube to the point that somebody actually killed me with Dark Depths this time, like Dark Depths Thespian Stage. Whereas in some of the previous iterations of Cube, just there are so many other good combos that are available that nobody would ever try to do that. The Tortoise and the Reclaimer have a little bit going on. Ooh. That's definitely a good sideboard card. Terra Sunder. Invigorate, just what I needed to make my Emrakul large enough. I actually need to play this island. What are the new cards I like? I like the new Emrakul, the Promised End. I think Living Death's pretty good. The Bombardiers aren't new this time, right? They're obviously absurd, but I think they were in the previous iteration. I'm sad that they removed Escape to the Wilds from the cube. That was like one of my favorite cards just because it tended to go late, but it was incredibly powerful. I think they added some more Eldrazi, which seemed kind of silly. They don't need to have so many different Eldrazi in the cube. Zell's Conscripts is a new addition. It's in there because of the Kiki Jiki stuff, but I think it's just generally a good card to have in the cube. I like that one. Anger, I've yet to see anyone do anything with Anger. It just seems hopeless. I think there's just much, much better ways to utilize your graveyard than to try to get Anger in it and give things taste. And you're not going to put this in just like a beatdown deck and hope to discard it to give your things haste. Have I played any of the red-green decks that are more focused on the prowess? I haven't. They're obviously trying to push some sort of like combat tricks based deck, but it's just so badly outclassed by the other cards. Like it's hopeless. There's no level of like combat tricks you can put in the cube that are going to make it competitive with people who are playing like the really busted blue cards, or even just like the good artifact stuff, or the good reanimation stuff. It just like you can't get the power level high enough. I guess this is a mulligan. Do I think adding Infect might change that? I think that it would just... I don't think they could add enough cards to get it to the point where Infect was a thing, because it would be the case that, like, if you added Infect, you're hoping, like, one person at the table can draft it, and if anybody else drafts it, like, you can't possibly expect to add Infect and have multiple people be able to draft it. Can you play the Whisperwood Elemental Torrential Gearhulk Nexus of Fate combo in this cube? No, they removed all the fun stuff you used to be able to do with that. I tried doing that so many times when you could do it in the cube, where the only way you could get a face down Nexus of Fate into play, and I could never pull it off. This makes it more likely that I cast Expressive Iteration. I guess also if I really want to, I can convert life into cards at a pretty bad rate with this Waterlogged Grove. They obviously should have attacked me and utilized gut. I'm glad that they did not. Hey, I shuffled to get Raphaelis off the top of my deck, and it just came right back. Now, Zurin Orb, that is a card to have on top of my deck. Seems like Avacyn's Judgment might be okay against their deck. Probably not, though. They didn't really play 1 toughness things. This card's good if somebody has a bunch of 1 toughness creatures, so you sometimes kill 2. Or I guess if you have a lot of ways to discard it, but I don't think either of those things are true. Do you guys think Channel's on top of my deck? I'm going to guess it's not, so I'm going to mulligan. And they have Mana Crypt and Soul Ring. This person's not messing around. Another kind of messing around with the turn 1 Restoration of a Ganjo. You hate to see it, but not really. I think I need to find something to through the breach quickly. Maybe it would have been good to keep the lightning bolt. I mean, it looks reasonable to have kept the lightning bolt now that their next play was something that I could actually lightning bolt. But if they just played a 4 toughness thing, or like something that made a bunch of creatures, it would have looked pretty bad. I don't think I'm going to win this game either way. Especially not. They've got a wasteland there that's not going to get a land this turn, but it's going to get a land next turn. Safety from that wasteland. Restoration of a Ganjo it's truly unbeatable if all you draw is lands. How much is this one? It's 10. If I wanted to, I could go to 5 to put the jar into play. So obviously if they don't have an answer to Kozilek, I'm just going to win. How are they going to answer the Kozilek? They could plow it. They have Caracas. I'm just kind of boned. I think I will put the jar into play. I'm not going to put the Crucible of Worlds into play. That seems a little crazy. Because if I find Fast Bond, I'm going to win anyway. I guess if I jar into Fast Bond, it's not a win. Let's see what happens. It floated a bunch of mana. Okay. I gained some life. Oh, they gained life, rather. No, I don't want a jar. I want a Zern Orb. I'm disappointed that my opponent conceded before I could play that Atraxa. Did I play any PoE in the past? I played a bunch of PoE. I played like the first maybe 2 weeks of the most recent league. I can never remember what the names of the leagues are. The last league was like kind of crazy in terms of how much you could juice the maps, and I don't know. That got to the point where I wasn't that interested in it. Like I didn't want to sit and play for like 1,000,000,000 hours to make some sort of gigantic stack of divines that really all you ever do is invest your currency into getting better and better magic find gear so you could find currency faster. Like, that doesn't appeal to me. I was kind of considering looking at the upcoming PoE league, but I think I'm not going to do it. See, this is why I like to play a lot of lands when I put Fast Bond in my deck. So you don't get hands like that. Guess this is good enough. So I get the Hedge Maze. It gives me an extra shot at finding an Eldrazi. It delays me getting double red, but I don't I know that I really need to make sure I can cast the Trumpeting Carnosaur when I get to 6 lands. I can Carnosaur the Jace Vryn's Prodigy, but they appear to be a Reanimator deck, and if they have Animate Dead, Reanimate, or Necromancy, it's going to be sad times for me. So I think I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just put a Carnosaur into my graveyard for them to reanimate. I have not sacked an Eldrazi to Bombardiers yet. I did manage to win some game where it was like, it was almost impossible for my opponent to lose, but they attacked slightly too aggressively. And I was able to like Flame Tongue one of their blockers and attack with the Bombardiers and just throw the Flame Tongue at their face for 6, which gave me exact damage to kill them. I think that that might be the most expensive thing I've thrown at somebody with Bombardiers. Guess I did let the Jace flip this way. I don't know. This game, it seems like either I'm going to draw an Eldrazi next turn or I'm going to lose. I could lose even if I do draw an Eldrazi next turn. I played against somebody who they had turn 1 Mountain Mana Crypt Bombardiers. They attacked me with the Bombardiers, Mutagenic Growthed it, and then threw the Mana Crypt at me. So I took 6 damage on the first turn, but then all they had in play was the land and a Bombardier, so I went on to win. It was very strange. So they can cast the card from Shelldock Isle now. If I beside you the Shelldock Isle in response to them activating it, can they still get the card from it? I'm not sure how the rules work on that. I think I should just jar instead of Carnosaur. If I hit through the breach Emrakul or sneak attack Emrakul, I have a reasonable chance to win. I don't think the Carnosaur can hit anything that I really care about. Are they going to jar in response? think I already played a land. Underneath this, Shieldred. Guess I can't live through a Shieldred memory jar, so I should get rid of that. I guess I could have also gotten rid of the jar. So I could deal 12, 15 damage, but I'd lose my Uli Moly. The Bombardiers is 0 power because of the Jace. Oh wait, this is 16 damage. I think I'm just going to do this. Now I know it's very hard to see things in any detail. Yeah, a Dak Faden and a Spell Seeker. I wonder if they probably should have floated blue mana so they could shell dock Isle easier. It doesn't. They could have chosen to have this swamp tapped and have blue mana in their pool, which is obviously better given that they have Urborg in play. Am I dead? Oh, I have all these Eldrazi in my deck that can't Brain Freeze me out. Nice. But that person just didn't even want to play anymore. I like what this hand has going on. Hey, Fro. How's it going? It's going all right. I've learned to love Vintage Cube again after giving up on it for like 5 years. Oh, this hand isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I did kill an Oko, though. Come on, nothing. That could be a problem. Is my love of Vintage Cube inversely proportional to my love of regular draft? I don't know. I would say there hasn't been a draft format I was really super excited about lately. I played a decent amount of Murders in Markov Manor. It was fine. I think the main thing with Vintage Cube is that they got rid of some of the like really stinky cards that had been in the Vintage Cube just for years and years at the point where I stopped playing it. Like, I was sick of seeing packs that had Smokestack and what's that other bad card that's like Smokestack? Tangle Wire. They finally took all that garbage out of the cube. And that, like 2 iterations ago, the cube was, I think, pretty interesting. And there was like lots of good different decks. They've kind of made the cube progressively worse the last 2 times they've revised it. Well, this is a good hand. Don't force a negation me, please. Oh, man. This person is not messing around with that force of negation. Who did I kill this time? Leovold. Please be kind to me, top of my deck. I don't think the top of my deck's going to get a chance to be kind to me. This was kind of a crazy match. I had two hands that I thought I was definitely going to win, and then we went Force of Negation into definitely going to lose. Draft again. Oh. We have options. I think it's Caracas or Shieldred. But Fury is also very good. This pack doesn't even have any bad cards in it. I guess I'll take Caracas. It's going to make my deck 100% of the time, whereas Shieldred, I have to be playing pretty heavy black. I kind of hate playing Reanimator, so I'm not going to pick the Reanimate, and I'm also not going to pick Atraxa for that same reason. What should I pick? There's Library, which is like, it's okay. There's Time Spiral, which is fun. Polluted Delta. I guess I'll take the Polluted Delta. Try to draft a good deck. More Eldrazi. Is this where I pick Pest Infestation? I guess it is. I've not found Recruiter of the Guard to be very good. Certainly not unless you're like trying to do Kiki Jiki combo. I don't really know what my deck... I guess I'm just drafting like blue-white mid-range probably at this point. I still actually like Jace. Maybe we'll pivot into a Lurrus deck instead. So I could take the Emrakul. Emrakul Caracas, you can just Emrakul over and over. It doesn't really serve you well to do that. I guess let's try this Emrakul. We got plenty of time left in the draft to get good types. You can vindicate your own land to get 2 types in the graveyard for the Emrakul. It's a big brain play. Razor Verge Thicket, last pick. So you can Mind Twist yourself. Like if you get a good mix of types in your hand, and you just need to get them into the graveyard, you just Mind Twist yourself and hope that you whiff the Emrakul, because it is going to be random. It'd be sad to Mind Twist yourself and hit your Emrakul. Guess I'm taking Mind Twist. Hogak? Is this the Hogak deck? I don't think so. There is a second fetch. Yeah. Ooh, Rafine is really good, but Rafine is going to wheel, almost definitely. It's so hard for people to play. I think I just want Misty Rainforest. It's a second fetch for Jace and also getting lands in the yard. Obviously, like Bitter Triumph or Get Lost would both be fine too, but I like fetch lands. I've yet to see anybody cast Inverter of Truth. I think it's just a card that like only works with Thassa's Oracle and I guess the Jace. So it's not surprising it doesn't get played much. I guess I'm taking Cut Down. There's just land, but it's not even that good of a land for me. There's also Deathrite Shaman. Is that possibly good? Not, probably not. I don't really like putting Cut Down on my main deck, but it is a really good sideboard card. Does this Zagoth Triome help my colors substantially? Not really. I think I'd rather just take Meticulous Archive. I find it just absurd that Woe Strider is in the Vintage Cube. Like, what kind of a person is going to put that in their deck and think, yeah, this is an appropriate power level card for what my opponents are doing? We've got Prismatic Ending. Samwise the Stout-Hearted, which is a Wombo combo with Caracas. And like a fetch land, I could bring a fetch land back to my hand every turn. It's like build your own really bad Crucible of Worlds. think I'm just going to take Prismatic Ending. Oh man, is Iganjo getting restored? Or there's Thassa's Oracle. I don't think it's Show and Tell or Bloodgaster Hero Blade Hold. Guess I'm taking Restoration of Iganjo. I'm not very happy about it. Sensei's Divining Top is part of a lot of combos in this cube, but I'm not really in a good position to do any of them. Guess I'll just take Probe. This is another card. I have no idea why this is in the cube. It's just like for Reanimator, when your deck, you just get like a bad Reanimator deck, so you put this in your deck, I think is all that has going on. The Lush Portico turns my Misty Rainforest into white. I guess that's something. Inquisition or Windswept Teeth. I do probably need to pick some spells at some point. I can't just pick only lands. Inquisition's a pretty good spell. I think this Jace both is going to be pretty hard to cast and isn't going to be particularly good in my deck. I'll just take Novice Inspector. Maybe the Luris will do something after all. This is another card. New edition. I've never seen anyone put this in their deck. I can't even imagine, like, how bad would your deck have to be before you'd be looking at that and thinking, yeah, maybe this is what I need. I did take enough green mana that I think I could actually play this Tamiyo. Only get basic lands? Yeah. This deck's going to need some help. The last pack. It's not completely hopeless. I do at least have a decent amount of cheap cards and a little bit of a late game plan. Wouldn't hurt to get some fast mana. Like Black Lotus. Black Lotus I would accept. Mox Emerald. It's not Black Lotus, but I'll accept it. I would have had a really good Reanimate deck, I think, if I had been willing to draft it. I don't like drafting it just because it feels like the difference between the good versions and the bad versions is just massive. I don't think it's very consistent. But this is a seat where it would have worked out really well. Chrome Host Seed Shark. I guess it's fine. This is not like the world's greatest deck for it, but Pack Rat's another new addition that people actually play it sometimes. I don't think it's particularly good, though. Pack Rat just is not that good of a card when you don't have a deck full of Mutavaults. So how are we doing on types? I think I've got instant sorcery pretty covered. Got a little bit of creatures, got planeswalkers. I have one enchantment and I have one artifact. The artifact's probably not going to go to the yard. The enchantment eventually will. Definitely need to prioritize spells over lands right now. So there's Path, which is certainly fine. There's Narset, which I don't really have any combos with Narset. It's just like generically good. There's also Preacher of the Schism, which is not bad, but I think I just want Path. I'm a really big fan of Forensic Gadgeteer. Not in this deck, but I think that there are decks where it's really good. When I said there's lots of combos with Sensei's Divining Top, Gadgeteer Sensei's Divining Top is certainly one of them. I guess I'm taking Mystic Confluence. It's that or Solitude. Kind of want to have at least a little bit of counters. No, it's Urza. Not a great Urza deck. It is good with Chromehost Seed Shark, though. It's a little bit of a combo with Caracas. Oh, this is an interesting pick. So Spell Pierce, generically good. Mishra's Bauble, good with Luris, which I was kind of thinking I wasn't going to play Luris. Also Scrubland. If I'm not going to play that, I think I should take Spell Pierce. I think Luris is looking kind of bad for this deck. Spell Pierce is going to be good. So it'd be really nice to be able to pick the Scrubland, but I think I just need spells too badly. Take Dismember. The bad squee. This time I think I will take a land. Just because these spells are all pretty bad. I wouldn't mind a Sunfall for this deck. Cathar Commando seems fine. I think Indathu Triumph's pretty good too. So I definitely don't need to play a Forest with Tameo. That's nice. Need a good number of swamps. Don't need all that many plains. I think I'm actually going to take Picklock Pranks. Not. I'd be cutting a spell to play it, so I'll just take the land I know I'm going to play. Ooh. That's pretty nice. I'll play that over a land. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white, including the dragon. I guess I should play more than one plains if I'm going to play Restoration of Aganjo. How many blue is this? I get one more land. It's going to be either an island or a swamp. I think it should be a swamp. Actually, I changed my mind. I think it should be an island. This deck is, I would say, not nearly as good as my first deck tonight. Where's all my opponents at? Need to be very careful not to get fetch lands Tidebindered. I guess this land should be an island. If they'd gone Black Lotus Tidebinder, or Black Lotus so that I couldn't sack the polluted delta without getting Tidebindered, I would have felt bad. Is that going to stop this from flipping? I think it does. I think that's worth pathing. I don't know why I thought that that was going to work in a better way than it did. I was confused. Obviously, that always stops the one effect. I'm still going to get the 3-4. I didn't need to path it right then. It didn't do anything to path it then. I guess the one thing that it did was it meant they couldn't ephemerate it, which is something. Need to find a way for this to die so that I can get more types in my yard for the Emrakul. Only strips away abilities from artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. Oh, I didn't know that. Obviously, I could bounce that with Caracas, but I don't really want to just keep having my hand get clicked. This is a pretty juicy spot to play the Confluence, and probably if I don't play the Confluence there, they're going to take it, so it's kind of a use it or lose it situation. Whoa, why is... Oh, they're ephemerating it. That makes sense. That was not good for my types. I did get 6 life, you're right. That's not bad. It's not nothing. Is there a way to get battle in the yard? I don't think there's any battles in the cube. Maybe I'm wrong. Would it be better to play Sunfall just to clear the board? I don't think so. Like, I have Caracas, so I can play Urza this turn and then just return it to my hand. Turn at the end of the hand. Return to my hand at the end of the turn. And Sunfall next turn if that's what I decide I need to do. What do you got over there? I know they can block this with Celestial Colonnade, but if they choose to block it with Celestial Colonnade, I'm going to Sunfall. That worked out pretty well. I still only have 3 types in the yard. The solitude exiling my restoration of a ganja just crushed me on the types front. I find Caracas Urza to be an acceptable combo. Opponent putting up a fight. I obviously can't spell pierce this because there's a Teferi in play. I could have prismatic ended the Teferi, but it would have required me to tap my Caracas that turn, which I don't think I wanted to do. Different Teferi. This is going to trigger the Fairy Mastermind, though. Finally, some extra cards for me. Maybe someday I'll be able to get some good types. So I'm going to kill the Teferi, and then I'm going to play my own Hero of Dominaria. I'm going to tap the Caracas so I can protect this Teferi with a Spell Pierce. Because assuming that the fairy gets to resolve, I will be untapping the Caracas. I might have to give up the Spell Pierce because I'm probably going to want to block the Brazen Borrower with the Fairy Mastermind. Maybe not, actually. I might just want to put just have the Fairy Mastermind in place so I can draw off of their Teferi as well. No, I guess not. I think I have enough stuff going on. I don't really need the extra cards. Okay. It's not that sad. My types. Was Novice Inspector free to cast? Oh yeah, you're right, it was. I should have done that. And I actually could have dealt an extra point with the construct. Like I could have gotten the Teferi 1 loyalty lower. That was a mistake. I'm going to flicker the staff. Is this game getting hard? I think I'm still in decent shape. Rude. You're not supposed to have an answer to Caracas. Should have held man up. No. I mean, actually, I guess I probably should. This was maybe one of the situations where I actually should have. I don't think it matters, but I guess I could have. Goodbye Teferi. I always wanted you to go to my graveyard. I have 8 mana currently. Almacal's about to pop off? Maybe. Probably. I think I should have attacked first, maybe. Maybe not. This is going to be a complicated Emrakul turn. It's not even that clear that I'm going to win. It's going to depend a lot on what's in their hand, because I can eat one flyer, but they're still going to have a lot left. Yeah, that's kind of a good card for them to have in their hand. All right. Hopefully this is enough, because it was a lot. Oh, they are getting the... Forgot they were getting this thing back. Which is something. I had to do that, right? It wasn't optional, was it? It's been quite a game. Oh, you thought I should leave the Teferi around to see if they bounce the Emrakul so I could Emrakul a second time? It's Malcolm. They only have 5 cards left in their deck. Oh, you wanted to unexpectedly absent the Emrakul and Emrakul them again? I guess that's a thing that could happen. No, I can't. You can't do that. Protection from instants. I just kill them with Fairy Mastermind. Not quite. All right, because it would be 1. Almost. Somehow Spell Pierce keeps being not that good against their deck. Guess I need to play fast. That was a really long first game. Got rid of my Vindicate. Don't love that. It's like Flicker Wisp and Reclamation. Probably taking Sunfall. Opponent, didn't you see the Spell Pierce in my hand? I think I'm going to minus on the Flicker Wisp. What do I think of the new themes? I think they're all failures, I guess I would say. I've seen people like try things with the like the Graveyard Matters stuff, but it's always been pretty bad. And like the Power Matters stuff, every once in a while somebody will have like mutagenic growth in an aggro deck, but it's not like it's fitting a theme. It's just they didn't get enough cards kind of situation. Whoa, I didn't want to pay life. I wanted to pay mana. Oh well, I guess it worked out. But I get to know what's in their hand. It's the Wandering Emperor. Oh, wait, that wasn't good. I thought I was going to have enough mana to cast Mystic Confluence. How could I not count to 5? All right, it's time to chump. I won game 1 by decking my opponent with Fairy Mastermind. At least I would have if they hadn't conceded. Am I vindicating the graveyard? No. Goodbye, Tamio. Come on, click me into Sunfall. Didn't need to take 2 damage there. Was trying to play too fast. I didn't realize that I wanted to have mana for the colonnade. Give up my Jace, or my Teferi, I suppose. Oh no, they can mess with my types. Been a tremendous amount of giving things first strike this game. My odds of spinning with Urza and just hitting Emrakul are pretty good. I've got 13 cards left in my deck. It's like almost a certainty I'll hit. Oh, I didn't realize they could do this. I guess that's fine. Going face. Is that good? I certainly could have tapped better. This is gross. I've never mind-slavered someone. Oh, it's permanent you don't control. I thought I could vote for their stuff. Should have force of negation that. I thought I was going to be able to vote and pick two of their permanents. Get both their planeswalkers. It was enough the way it was. But even had I only just gotten rid of the novice, what's it called? The novice inspector, and like chump attacked their board, it was going to be enough. I'm ready for their turn one Ragavan. It wasn't a Ragavan at all. Wish I left up Spell Pierce. Oh well. Their hand's pretty bad. I'm still in fine shape. I will have to Spell Pierce this Everflowing Chalice next turn just because it pays for Spell Pierce on its own. And they're not likely to play anything that's so expensive that I could Spell Pierce it with the Chalice sitting in play. Definitely want to pay life here just because if my top card is Jace the Mind Sculptor, I certainly want to play it this turn. Yeah, that's another good one to play as well. Not that I really got that much from their hand, just more mana in the Sunfall. Come on, Planeswalker. Vindicate. I'm not going to Vindicate a mana source. It's not like I'm close to winning the game if I just slow them down. I'll save it and hit something that does something. I like that one. Come on, plus on me. Playing against the same deck again. That's a good one to leave on top. Do you think this person's going to try to bounce the Urza and I can fizzle it? That's what happened last match. Probably not. Subtlety. I'll give them a window where they can get rid of the Urza. If I had had one more mana, I definitely would have played Teferi instead that turn. It doesn't make sense to play Teferi and let it just get hit with Solitude, and I can't use the untap to kill the Solitude because of their Teferi. It's an Urza of their very own. It is really like I'm playing against the same deck as last time. This person they have a lot of the same cards. I really do not think that Phyrexian Metamorph is a very good card in Cube anymore. Every once in a while I'll play it if I'm like a really heavy artifact deck and I have a lot of good stuff to copy on my own. It's just so many of the permanents people put into play in Cube now are good because of their synergies. You don't play against a lot of people that just put like a big thing into play and it's just good on its own. I mean, everything's good, but most things are not nearly as good for you, for your opponent, as they are for you, because your deck is built around whatever synergy they happen to offer. Okay. Oh, I need another white to be able to get my Urza back and then Sunfall. Give them a one-turn window to use the Cannoneer to take out Teferi. Are we even sure it's not the exact same player? It's not. I don't remember what it's a different name. I don't remember what the first person's name was, but it is different. And this person has like a minor artifact sub-theme, it seems like. Ooh. That's kind of unpleasant. Maybe I was supposed to spend Urza. Are there any instants I could hit that would actually be good? This person's trying to kill me. Well, that was a pretty good draw. I wonder if they might have thought something was up that I bounced my Urza to my hand. Maybe they thought I just wanted to make more tokens. But I had a bigger plan. Oh, this was bad. There's no reason I shouldn't have waited till I untapped lands. If they had a 1-mana removal spell, I would have felt really stupid. I guess they are just going to Reclamation it back again. So maybe it doesn't matter. This is yet another same card that they have. We're at 4 types. This is not Reclamation, it's something else. Hope it's not Upheaval. Hope it's not Walking Ballista also. It's Upheaval. Ugh. I just said I hope it's not Upheaval just because I knew it would make the game take forever. I guess this favors them somewhat. Yeah, they're probably going to win now. So people actually good in their deck? I would strongly question the idea that it's good. It's going to be good this game. I need to draw Path to Exile off the top of my deck. Have any hope? Maybe my own Fairy Mastermind would do it. Mox Emerald also would have done it. I forgot I had that one. Yes, that's good. I'm going to set up to play Urza next turn. Get some more types in the yard. One nice new addition to the cube this time around is these lands. The surveil lands are pretty cool. Hooray, they're not playing Teferi Time Raveler. Okay. I think Timeless Dragon's coming out next turn. Let's find out. Sunfall, Dig Through Time. Guess I'll let them Sunfall. I can't really stop the Dig Through Time. I could take out the Talisman of Progress, but they have a Plains in their hand. Actually, if I took out the Talisman of Progress right now, it just meant it would mean they could cast Dig Through Time on there. So instead, they're going to probably Sunfall now, and then I'll Dig Through Time. Or Sunfall, I'll blow up the Talisman of Progress, and they'll Dig Through Time. It looks like they're doing it in the other order. Which maybe that makes sense. No, it did not make sense for them. Mystic Confluence is so good when it works. Come on, Jace or Teferi off the top of the deck. The Restoration of Ganja was too much for them. I think the opponent made a pretty big mistake by not just playing the Dig Through Time on their own turn. Once I get to see it in their hand and it's just telegraphed they're going to be playing at the end of my turn, They should just play right away, I think. I guess there's a danger that I like draw Mind Twist and I get a bunch of good cards out of their hand, but they have to expect that I have some things that are going to counter it in my deck, given the colors that I'm playing. How much do I care about this thing getting me a black mana? I guess not that much. Because I definitely want to play Restoration of Aganjo on turn 3. So the question is, do I use Misty to get Ndatha Triome this turn, or do I just play Cathar Commando and then use Misty to get Island? And then Restoration of Aganjo is going to get me the second white anyway. And I don't have any black spells yet, so I think it's fine. Mind Stone. Should I just let them get my clue? I guess I'm going to take the card. Rude. This person had Force of Will that I've seen. So I'm going to play this before they get to untap, just in case they have Force of Will and no blue card. And it works. Also, I get to know whether or not it's worth sending the Novice Inspector at the Teferi, which the Novice Inspector is never going to kill the Teferi, but I can keep it from ultimating. Now what? I think my life total's too low. Well, that's real bad for me. Guess there's a chance. And they do 2 to me, I go to 5. Or 6 rather. So it's 2 Flicker Wisp hits. They're going to get 1, obviously. Hopefully I don't just die to Vendilion click here. Be very anticlimactic. If I draw an untapped land, I can play Emrakul. That's probably very good. That Teferi is probably bad news for me. Again, life. Not bad. Already used my Sunfall. This is going to be tricky. If I draw an untapped land, they do have Solitude, which is, I don't know how, can that Solitude target itself? No, but if the Flicker Wisp is in play, you can target the Flicker Wisp. I'm going to try to play the PT again? No. Oh, they're going to put a land on top. They're going to put a land on top. They're going to put a land on top. I'm seeing a way out of this. Oh, they can do that, though. Yeah. All right, that wasn't fun. Forgot about that one. If I'd taken the Flicker Wisp instead of the Reclamation, same thing probably would have happened. Yeah, them getting 2 turns in a row. Oh, wait. Did I skip through the turn of theirs that I was controlling? I'm not sure what happened. I forgot that I was taking their turn. That's what happened. Yeah. I think I was doomed anyway. But yeah, I could have obviously had their Teferi tuck. I was too busy thinking about if there had been a different way to choose with Inquisition that would have made the game go better for me. Please don't be mono red. What we got? It is an aggro deck. It's not mono red. It's turn 3 Minsk and Boo if they want to do that. And there's a Shadow Spear in the mix. I can probably bluff them into not doing a turn 3 Minsk and Boo just by playing an island and leaving it untapped. If we'd chosen the Flicker Wisp, opponent wouldn't have anything to evoke with Solitude. Yeah, you're right, because they would have been forced to play the Reclamation to get the stuff out of their graveyard. Yeah, I should have been able to think about that too, because I knew my whole plan was Emrakul. So leaving them with Solitude and a white card in their hand was just not good. I have Spell Pierce in my deck, but it doesn't even do anything here. This is just not going to go well. Most decks are not very good at beating MtGO once it's in play, and my deck is no different. You want to see more Brawl content soon that doesn't feature a boring commander. I've been playing a little bit of Brawl with Omnath. I don't know if that classifies as a boring commander. I don't try to play with like a super optimized deck. So I'm down to 3, and they just drew 5 cards. And they have a Bone Crusher Giant in their hand, which that's enough to kill me. That didn't go well. Is this a cut-down matchup? Not based on what I saw. It might not be surprising if it was, actually, though. I guess I can cut down Volder and Epicure, but that isn't a dream of mine. Caracas is okay against MtGO. That's my plan. Caracas. That's my entire plan. Please live, Chromehost Seed Shark. I won't even block with you if they attack. It's a pretty strong sign it's going to live if they're attacking. Especially, wow. They didn't want to play Inti first. That's interesting. Can't just kill both. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I guess I can bounce Inti with Caracas. That's actually what I'm going to do. I think now I'm willing to have the Legionnaire. I'm going to block the Legionnaire with the Seed Shark. They only have 1 mana untapped, and also if they have a burn spell, I'm just going to path my own Chrome Host Seed Shark. They do not appear to have a burn spell. Okay. Would accept a black mana. Would also just accept those. This is the same thing though. I'm going to path my own guy. Like if they have Bone Crusher Giant, if they have a pump spell for their own thing, then I'm going to path their own thing. They didn't do this right. They should have let the damage go on my thing first. I guess I'm going to path theirs. If they had played correctly and they just utilized first strike, then I wouldn't have had a choice. I would have had to path my own Seed Shark. Guess they can have a second burn spell. Okay. Maybe they got me here. I don't know. They still played in a way that they gave me options, which they didn't need to. So they have 2 cards, and I know that one of them is Inti. They also have 2 creatures on Adventure, which is a lot of creatures to have on Adventure. Cost me a lot to counter this, because I'd have to use 2/3 of Mystic Confluence to stop it, and then they just wind up playing the Bone Crusher Giant anyway, and I'm behind on board. This way at least I get 2 cards, and I'm not as far behind on board. All right, this is workable. Just need to draw Urza. Oh no, it's an Oliphant. I'll slow down that Oliphant. Seems like they should have attacked with the Pyromancer. I'm ready to vindicate the Oliphant, which I think they don't draw till next turn. Am I off by one? I always get confused. That's annoying. I guess I can kill it by sending all of my small creatures at it. It's not a spell that's likely to help me. I know that Oliphant is on top of their deck, so I don't really need to have Caracas to protect Urza. I got this in Datha Triome with the plans to cycle it, but I haven't had enough mana to do it. Probably take 4 this turn if they play Oliphant and then attack with the Shield Breaker. Or does the Oliphant have to attack first? I have to read Oliphant. It's been a while since I played with that. All right, they didn't draw Oliphant. I'm confused. What do they have? They had a Firebolt in their graveyard that I didn't see. I guess that counts as something. So this thing takes a turn to get going. That's what I wasn't sure about. I made the same mistake the past 2 turns. I should have left one of these guys untapped so I could cycle. Oh no, it's Oger! If they weren't so close to dead, I would have to stop to read it. It's not very good against Caracas, though. I forgot that I could be playing Pest Infestation. Should I be playing it? Did Shadow Spear and Grim Monolith? Doesn't seem that good against their deck. This hand is not good. This is certainly better. I think I'm going to braid for my mocks. I guess that's not the end of the world. Oh, it's a good card to have still be in my deck. But I don't think I can afford to leave it on top. Oh no. They're drawing the lands they need. I guess this thing isn't that scary. They don't have a board. I don't have anything worth throwing anything at. Can't sack the enchantment. So I guess I'll deal some damage with this. It's eventually going to die to Fury. No, it's too good of a card, and my Sunfall's already in the graveyard. Pitched Fire Blast and Fury. So they kept one card they liked more than Fury, even knowing that I was going to get Timeless Dragon into play pretty quickly. Maybe they just messed up. Cathar Commando really doesn't have much going on. You would have guessed they have Chandra? Yeah, that would have been a pretty good guess, but it does not appear to be what they have. Were they baiting me with the Monolith so they could get the Porcelain Legionnaire into play? If they were, they succeeded. Should I just race them? Seems okay. Is it MtGO? It's a rampaging raptor. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't really want to die to a lightning bolt, so I'll unexpectedly absent this. Which means that if they have Flame Slash, they get me. If they have Lightning Bolt or Burst Lightning, they're not going to die, but... if they have, like, Royal Treatment, it would be Savage. Or that Legolas card. Get a Firebolt. A Firebolt would be rough because they would kill this and then I would be forced to play defensively. I guess that was a good gamble on their part. That I wouldn't draw a counter. They bait me into attacking. I survive at 1 if they have nothing, or I lose. Close. All right, that's it for me for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. 2 2-1s. Not bad. First deck was cool, and the games were a lot more straightforward. Second game, I maybe punted that crazy Emrakul Solitude game. That would have been a hard game to win, even if I played perfectly, I think. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the future.